Hey there, everybody. It's Jamie with the After Gambling Podcast. Just wanted to record a quick video. This is the week of Responsible Gambling Week. And while I applaud the initiative, I think it is a good thing. I'm not here to bash it. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm here to make these campaigns better in the future. And that's what I'm hoping to do today. And so I'm going to point out some of the failures of this program as a learning tool. Again, not trying to bash you. I know hopefully you have good intentions. But there's some things that are really missing that are creating kind of some problems that don't need to be there. So first of all, we're going to start with this. Let's talk about responsible gambling. Great. Love it. It is something we need to talk about. As I kind of tweeted out in a rant a little bit ago, we do this every day on Twitter, so it's nothing new. But it's cool to see the industry kind of take this initiative to start talking about responsible gambling, whatever that is. And there's a big debate over responsible gambling, using that term, which I'll touch on in another topic I've touched on in podcast. I don't think it's the best term. I think we can do better. It is what we have right now, so let's use it, I guess. But anyway, so let's see. We're talking about responsible gambling, right? So this is the Twitter feed. Twitter is social media. Social media is a place to interact, to talk, to have a discussion. Perfect. It's a perfect place for talking about responsible gambling, right? So, tweets and replies. Click on tweets and replies earlier because I was curious about, okay, what kind of conversation are they having? And I'll scroll through. There's a lot of posts, which is awesome. Cool. There's a lot of content. This was obviously well thought out. It's also, I'm a designer. It's very well designed. I think it's very eye-catching. It's great. It's good stuff. I like the color palette. I like everything about the visual aspect of it. And I even like a lot of the content. Some of the content messaging, obviously, I think we could do better, involve some people that have been compulsive gamblers, and that will help you out quite a bit to avoid some of the pitfalls. But the main thing I want to point out here as I'm scrolling, what you don't see are responses at tweets. Here's one, but this is not one because there's a dot in front. This is just kind of calling out the person. So I kept scrolling and scrolling. I'm like, there has to be. I mean, we're having a conversation, right? Was that one? Nope. There has to be a discussion going on. But there's not. There's no discussion being had. And there are responses to a lot of these tweets. They're not all positive responses, but they're responses. Oh, wait, here we go. Here's one. So this is what a response looks like, just to show that, yes, these do show up here. So it says, at PokerStars, great to have your support. We just noticed that you're not using the right hashtag. So they responded, so they are kind of monitoring this, but it was just to tell an operator they're using the wrong hashtag. Not sure that's the conversation we're trying to get. Imagine that the companies are already talking about this, right? The goal is to have a conversation outside of the industry with people in public, with people in recovery, with people in all aspects. All stakeholders should be part of the conversation. But that's clearly not happening with this campaign, which, as a marketer, I think is a huge failure. Like I say, I love the look of it. I think it's good intent. I hope there's good intentions behind it. Some would argue there might not be. But we need to have a conversation. If we want to say, let's talk about it, let's talk about it. I mean, one of the tweets that I saw earlier, this one, you wouldn't go out in the rain without an umbrella, so why gamble without knowing the risk? Great starter. What are the risks? What are the risks? If we're going to have the conversation, let's talk about what the risks are. This is the big thing that's missing from so many campaigns is the why, the substance, the meat on the bones. We talk about all these things in vague terms, but we don't say why. It's like when we go into schools and teach kids about alcohol. We use things like at DARE programs, or when I was in high school, they brought in the crashed up car at prom time to talk about the dangers of drunk driving. And we talk about the problems, the fallout of all those things. Drugs, growing up was, oh, you use drugs, you're going to go to jail. We talk about consequences. We talk about the risk. We talk about addiction. But here, all we're doing is just kind of introducing the topic, and then we're not talking about it. And this tweet, actually, I'll open it up. I responded. Some other people in recovery have responded. And there's a conversation. There's a conversation. That's what a conversation looks like. So, until we start to have a conversation, you're going to continue to get bashed on these programs. People are going to call you out for not being genuine about them. I'm going to be one of those people. I'm going to be highly critical when things go wrong. I'm going to be heaping praise upon praise upon praise when things go right. For example, I tweeted on one, check out the Minnesota has an awesome gambling group that does an awesome stuff. Trying to find, where was that one? Here, I'll go to my tweets. You can find out my tweets. I just posted it not too long ago. If you're looking for one. Let's see. Sorry, this is a little bit of a rant. There it is. I want to give them credit. At Minnesota Gambling Help. Their site's awesome. Their content's awesome. It talks about the issues. It uses real life stories and engages with the people. And I know that engaging with people like myself that are in recovery isn't necessarily what you want to promote. But I don't know why that would be, because if it's about having the conversation and talking about the risk, I'm the perfect case study to use and say, yeah, Jamie screwed up. He did all the things. He started one way, but then he did all the things wrong, and this is where he got. So why is that a bad thing to share my story or Andy's story or all these other people that are sharing their story? That should be part of the conversation. But again, that's why I say this is a one-sided thing. Companies that come on social media and use it as a megaphone, as an advertisement, and not as a conversation always fail. It is a huge mistake. It needs to be corrected if you want to improve these campaigns going forward. And I hope we can all learn from this. See ya. My rant's over. I'm off.